Hey there, I'm Lex,
And I'm Ken.
coming to you live with.
Ken and Lex Connection.
Now, listen. Listen to the invite list before you tune us out. If you hate the phrase, everything happens for a reason, stay. If you're a believer in any capacity, a seeker or a skeptic, stay. If you don't feel like you need to go to church to connect, stay. You've been wondering about a space where faith can be explored without fear, pressure, or pretense, stay. Because we designate this pod to our mission to create a space where questions are encouraged and doubts are embraced and struggles are met with grace. So if you're confused, curious, or just trying to make sense of it all, stay. Because no matter where you are on your journey, you're not alone. And we're committed to figuring this out together. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's jump.
Ken and Lex Connection.
So, in our last pod, we talked about why we're not all Jewish. And if you missed that bit, go ahead and go back so you can catch up with the rest of us. If you have any questions for that one, throw them in the chat. We'll still be looking for them. So, we're going to answer a question that we have here. And it starts with, if Jesus Christ was indeed Jewish, how come the Jewish religion only sees him as a prophet? And does that in turn mean that there is no right religion to follow in order to have a relationship with the higher power? So I'm going to let Ken answer this question. As far as my little feedback on it, I have no idea what the Jewish worship, guys. I have no idea, but I'm going to jump for the second part in turn. There's no right religion. And in my heart, there isn't. As we said in the first podcast, that there is so many different types of belief systems. And for me, it's just one higher power. But I definitely don't think that there is a specific right religion. I think that church, any form of congregation for the Lord, is a training ground, so that way you can foster a relationship with the higher power. You can create one, maybe understand how to maintain that. But honestly, I don't think that you have to. I think church is like a training ground and then you move on. Like, it's not really that necessary for you to go all the time, but it's not necessary to maintain a relationship, I should say. It definitely is, it can be a vibe, but I don't think that you need it in order to maintain your relationship. I don't think that you need any religion. I think it's about relationship and not religion itself.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Ken? What do you know?
So, okay, my thoughts. So, for the first question on the Jewish people, they don't see Jesus as a prophet. I believe Muslims see Jesus as a prophet, but not the Jewish people.
So, like, did you figure that out through research? Like, how do you know?
Research, and also for like just talking about their religion of itself, because they're looking for a Messiah. They're looking for someone to fulfill the promises that the Lord has for them in the Old Testament. To Christians, that Messiah is Jesus, but to the Jewish people, that Messiah is not Jesus, because he didn't fulfill what they believe their Messiah should fulfill.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Jewish religion doesn't, research wise, doesn't believe that Jesus was
Their
a
answer.
prophet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus was
Okay.
not their answer, and Jesus was not a prophet. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if there was a prophet, then they should believe in him, but they don't.
Mm.
And for the other part of
Whether it's a right religion to follow?
My thoughts on that is kind of going off kind of what you're saying, that it's not about religion, but the biggest difference between what at least I'm talking about with because with the church and stuff, and not church, but the what Jesus brought is he brought a different answer to the question. And so, like when we're talking about like spirituality, we're talking about just various religions. If you talk about Muslim, like all these plethora of religions, they're all looking to answer a question that every human has. It's why am I here? What's my purpose? Stuff like that. And so Jesus came with a different answer to that. So I don't think it's about like finding the right religion or finding the right person to guide you to this, but it's finding the correct answer. And so in my head, to me, Jesus is the correct answer. And that kind of brings me to a question I have for you specifically.
Ooh.
But it's so you're saying you're spiritual, right?
Yeah.
What has been like the guiding you from spiritual? Because I don't this when you're spiritual, do you normally have believe in one creator, or is that unique to the journey that you've been led on?
I think that's unique.
Okay.
I think that it's
So
not a
what brought you to
general.
that?
Yeah, I don't think it's a general thing for spirituality for it to be one God, because I do like read and like hear there's like,
Mhm.
several ones, but in my spiritual belief there is only one. But you said, how did I come to that?
Yeah.
How did I come to the understanding that there was only one God? That's a fabulous question, actually. I guess I never really thought that there were more than one.
Hmm.
I honestly think God's a woman. So, I mean, that's in its answer in itself. Like, what man has the level of capacity to unconditionally love the way that the Lord does? Um, Forgiveness, the way that women forgive and the way that men forgive is two different things. So I don't think I ever thought of there being more than one God. I think that just came from like my foundation,
Hmm.
and I kind of just jumped onto that. I definitely did some digging,
Yeah.
like Buddhism
Hmm.
and things of that nature. So I guess I see why they may believe in it, but in my heart, I feel like there's only one God. I wish I had more context, but to say that that was like my foundation and what I was taught, and there wasn't anything in my life that like opposed that
Yeah.
understanding.
Hmm.
That's a really good question, though. I really feel like I want to sit there and kind of ponder on that one a little bit more.
Yeah, because I think the question came out of just hearing you talk about like spirituality and like what you believe. I'm like, it brought me the question like, how'd you get to that spot? Because I've studied like different spiritual things and studied like Buddhism, like you have. I've researched it all, even though I've been a Christian most of my life, all of my life, pretty much.
Hmm.
But all of it's super intriguing because why do you believe this? Why do you believe this? What's like the foundation of why the Buddhists chose this path and they decided this and they saw this, or why did you choose this? Because if you look back through history, there's some people believe in the rain god because when a storm came, they lost somebody and they're like, oh, this may this rain god protect my family.
Hmm.
And like a lot of these religions and like all these things that grow up, even if you like just speak of the church, a lot of these like denominations, whether there's a plethora of them,
Hmm.
all of them grow out of an experience somebody had
Yeah.
or something that someone felt, or they're trying to answer a question, or they're trying to like find answers to something. And so
Yeah.
just thinking about all that, I was like, because I've heard some of your journey, like how did your journey bring you to the belief in one creator?
Okay. So as you were talking, I kind of thought about it, and I remember doing this thing where, because I was so confused, I was
Hmm.
like, do we reincarnate? Do we
Hmm.
go to heaven or hell? Like, what happens? Like, I was going through that process and I was trying to figure out what to call the higher power.
Yeah.
And when, so I just started calling names one day. I was just like, um, Allah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sat there. When I said Jesus, when I said Jehovah, when I said God, like creator works,
Yeah.
universe works.
Yeah.
Like all of those names made me feel, ooh, this little tingle. Like there was this feeling of like,
You had a Mufasa moment.
elaborate of
So the
Mufasa.
Mufasa moment is, depending on your age, this might make sense to you, is when the hyenas heard the name Mufasa and they were like, "Ooh, Mufasa." In the movie, well, not the new one, which is
Yeah.
fine, but the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Your Mufasa moment, when you hear the name Mufasa, it like gives you a tingle. It's like, oh, Mufasa.
Yeah, like, ooh.
I just hear that name and I shut up. Mufasa. Ooh. Do it again. Mufasa. Ooh. Mufasa.
Yeah, it's like a chill almost. It's like when you get the chills, but it's not cold.
Yeah.
It's that, but not only do you get that chill, that like tingling in your body, but it stays there for a moment.
So it was legitimately an experience.
Yeah, I think that's all I got on that, but that was like really cool to go run back. But
No,
yeah,
that's amazing. That kind of answered my question because I was just so curious. And so just to give everybody a little understanding, the podcast is pretty much us asking each other questions.
yeah, and we have. Speaking of that, there is no mantra. Like there is no set plan.
Yeah.
Once Ken asks me a question, I have no idea what he's going to ask me. He has no idea what I'm going to say. If I ask him a question, same thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
The only thing that is scripted is our questions to each other that we have no idea it's going to be. Which is the super fun part.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Ken Lex Connections. So listeners, what was your moment? When did you decide there was only one God or multiple? And was that belief something you were raised with? Or did it come through your own journey? We heard Lex give her answer. Now I'd really love to hear yours. Head over to our YouTube channel and leave a comment on the video. We might even feature a few of our favorite comments in the future episode. Ken Lex Connection.
Okay, so let's recap. If Jesus was indeed Jewish, why doesn't the Jewish believe Jesus is a prophet? And now we know. Remembering Jesus was born into the Jewish faith, he didn't choose it. And the Jewish don't believe he's a prophet because he doesn't fulfill their expectations of their Messiah. So it makes sense that there wouldn't be a per se right religion to follow because it's about relationship and not religion. Okay, so now the time has come to question God with me. So, all of my doubters, my skeptics, my opposing, opinionated star seeds, put your questions in the comments and come back Sunday for more. In the meantime, love is light, and light is love. Peace out.
Bye. Ken Lex Connection.